In the last lecture, we learned how to conditionally redirect, and that is a nice way of redirecting. Now, to be honest, the way we redirect in the new post component is maybe not the way you're always going to do that. In the end, after submitting a post successfully, you just want to switch the page. And for that, you can of course also use that history prop, which you get on every component, which is loaded inside a browser router wrapped component. And new post is in the end loaded through blog, so therefore it is wrapped by browser router. In there we have access to that match, location, and history prop I showed you earlier. And that history prop has a couple of convenience methods we can use for replacing the current route or pushing a new route. So we can also change the page here without changing the state, and therefore by never rendering that redirect component, but instead by accessing this prop's history, and there the push method, which allows us to push a new page. So here we could also go to /posts, and this will essentially lead to the same behavior as before. We can go to new posts, we can enter a new post, and once this is done, we push a new page and we are redirected. Technically, push pushes this page onto the stack. So if we click the back button, we go back to the new post page. Whereas redirect replaces the current page. So if we then click the back button, and you can of course try this out after you comment this in again. If you click the back button after redirecting and not by pushing, you can go back, but you won't go back to the last page because redirect replaces the current page on the stack and doesn't push a new one. Though you can also replicate this behavior by not using push, but replace here on the history object. If you use that and you go to new post, if you now enter something here, we also leave the page, but now if we press the back button, we're still on posts because we were there before we visited new post, because new post was replaced on the stack of pages. So replace basically does the same as redirecting, and therefore you can use it as an alternative. I wanted to show you both methods though, because maybe you have a use case where you want to render that redirect component conditionally, and then this is an easy way of doing it. If you don't want to use the approach of rendering that component, replace or push also is a way of changing the page after some operation finished.